Today's topic is all about how tariffs have affected small and medium-sized businesses throughout the U.S. There's been a lot of tariff talk. One thing I will say is I'm not very political. So if you think that this is going to be a political conversation, feel free to stop the the Zoom now. I'm not very political. The only color I see is green. That's why I wore it. So it's really a conversation about how do businesses deal with the economic factors that they currently have to deal with, right? So more than anything, it's a current events type of topic for me, and that's you'll see that in the within the presentation here. Definitely excited to be on with you guys and chat tariffs, but also just talk small business. If you guys do have questions as we go throughout the presentation here, please feel free to utilize the Q&A feature through Zoom. I'll jump into the Q&A at the end, answer those questions from start to finish. And like I said, we should be able to give you guys back a few minutes on your day here. So definitely excited to be on with you guys and rock and roll. My name is Tony Semino. I am our VP of Business Development here. What a rock star picture that is. My hair looked way better that day than it does today. It's pouring rain here in New York. In case you guys were wondering, we had quite a rainstorm this morning as we got started. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but those are what's the yes, the blue what? The Blue Angels. Blue Angels are flying over our building currently. They're doing a show for Memorial Day, and they do their practice round on Thursday and Friday. So if there's a little bit of background noise, I promise you that's what it is. But we're super excited to be on with you guys. My role here is specifically partnerships. So some of you, I may have spoken with in the past. Some of you might have even joined some of our webinars in the past. If you have, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome. And I'm the first person to say we really do love our partners. There's a lot of people out there that have tried to duplicate and replicate what we do when it comes to partnerships. But 100% of our business comes from you guys. So we've spent the better part of the last 5 years as we've developed ROK Financial to develop partnerships with people like you guys, but also provide a ton of resource, a ton of insight. And this webinar is just an extension of that. So without further ado, I will get into the webinar here. One thing I did want to point out, though, and I don't know if you guys heard about it, is our affiliate loyalty program. And if you haven't, you are running out of time, right? What we've decided is we were going to take any deal that you funded from the first half of this year, enter everybody with a raffle ticket into a raffle, and on July's webinar, I will be pulling a winner where we will be sending them $5,000 cash. So if you like money as much as I do, give yourself as many chances to win the cash as possible and get those deals funded with ROK Financial. We look forward to rocking out together and working together. But more than anything, give yourself some chances to win some free cash. So I definitely wanted to share that, right? Why does this topic matter, right? Why does it matter? And I kind of started to touch on that as we started the conversation here. To be honest, it really didn't matter until we changed presidents, right? And I told you it wasn't going to be a political conversation. And the reason that it's not going to be a political conversation is because I've done this for long enough that I've seen the president change a few times now. And one thing I can tell you is they all have their own policies. And those policies do change the landscape of the way things work. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean. When 7-8 years ago, the SBA defined a true small business loan as up to $350,000. When COVID hit, President Biden and his administration changed that definition and they moved that up to a $500,000, meaning that the SBA would offer working capital where there was not necessarily any assets that had to be tied to a transaction, and that would go all the way up to $500,000. Now that we have President Trump back in the office, that has gone back down to $350,000. And that's just one small example around how policy can change what we do on the front lines of supporting small businesses, right? So today's conversation is not about the SBA. I was just using that example. But today's conversation is all about how reciprocal tariffs have been paused, and we are currently working through that in the political climate. But what does that mean for small businesses, right? One thing I can tell you is small businesses will be here before this conversation. They'll be here after them. But a few things that I want to make sure you guys walk away with is understanding how tariffs could potentially or are currently affecting the businesses that you're working with, what resources are going to be available, and in what ways can we support or ROK support these businesses during even post this tariff pause, right? So definitely want to make sure that these are the things that you guys are walking away with today, right? Um, Now, you one thing I would say is you are seeing hesitation in the marketplace, right? And hesitation, is probably the biggest killer of opportunity, if I'm being honest, right? If you're somebody that is waiting to see, right? I remember when I was trying to buy my house, some people's advice was you should wait for rates to get lower, right? I bought my house in 2022. I have a cheaper rate than what the rates are today. So if I was waiting, I'd still be waiting, right? And one thing I can tell you is my family needed a home, right? And I wanted to continue to grow my family, so I needed a home that could support that, right? If I'm a business owner, I know what the opportunities are or the challenges that I'm facing within my business. What does waiting do? Well, they say in business, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So if we're not taking advantage of opportunity, if we're not solving challenges, that's only going to snowball in our business and continue to affect us even more long term, right? So what we actually believe in is understanding, okay, what is the climate of borrowing today, right? What does the landscape look like in commercial finance, and how can I best take advantage of what's available today? And then, yeah, if in 3, 6, 9 months that climate changes or the landscape looks a little different, well, then let's take advantage of that landscape as well, right? But for right now, the one thing that I would say is if you are working with business owners and there is hesitation or fear to take action, please, 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 like I would do, echo to them that if you are somebody that is going to wait, you might be dealing with worse, worse or some a climate that's not as friendly to you as it might be going forward. And the reason that I say that is because since the reciprocal pause has been announced, we've seen lenders start to change and prepare for what's to come when there are reciprocal tariffs put in place. So I do want you to know. Lenders are changing their guidelines. They're updating requirements. They might be upping requirements in terms of, hey, we're actually not going to help the small businesses. We gotta up some of those requirements. So just keep that in mind as you're coming across businesses, as you're talking to business owners, and even thinking about referring those business owners over to ROK. If there is some hesitation or they're waiting for those clearer signals, the skies are always going to have a few clouds in them, right? We got to just make sure that we're navigating that accordingly. So definitely want to point that out, right? Some of the top industries that we already see some of these effects taking place. At the top of the list is transportation, manufacturing, retail, import, export, distribution, wholesalers, right? Electronics and technology, right? As we are working through these industries and we are working with these industries, the banks and lenders that are out there, they're assessing the risk that is associated with the businesses inside of these industries, right? And it might not be the business themselves that is risky, but their industry is risky. Let me give you an example. What we've seen recently in the transportation industry is if you're a one truck or two truck type of operation, you're getting hit the hardest right now, if I'm being honest. I've seen a lot of lenders up their requirements to a 5 truck minimum, right? Where they won't even help you if you have less than 5 trucks. Meaning that, if I'm a owner operator, right, and I only have one truck, what happens if my truck breaks down? Right? And now, just kind of, that's one area, right? Is if my truck breaks down, I can't operate. Right? There's no way for me to even operate my business. Let me throw the tariff curveball at you now, right? If the goods that I'm transporting are going to cost more, are the people that are buying the goods still buying the goods? A, and B, if they are, how are they going to offset that cost? Well, they're going to want me to do my job for even cheaper. What I see a lot in the transportation industry right now is that you're not even able to make per mile what you need to make to even be able to run your truck efficiently, to put gas, to buy tires, to do oil changes, right? All the things that come with operating a transportation business has become extremely expensive, and their margins have become extremely thin, if there's margin at all in the business. So that's why lenders are starting to change what they're doing. That's why the banks have updated what they're doing, is because they're seeing this as well. And then it happens in the performance of their portfolios inside of these industries. If they start to see people not making their payments, they're not going to continue to lend in those industries. So, again, this conversation is all about preparing you for what's to come, but this is actually what's happening right now. It's not what's to come. This is actually happening as we speak, right? So, how do we prepare, right? Well, number one is understanding the environment, right? We are currently in this environment where it is happening, right? And we are in a situation where supply chains are being affected, right? Costs are changing, customers are being impacted, right? So, knowing all of this, how do we then prepare? Well, number one is to certainly understand, how can financing help me? Right? Here at ROK Financial, we know that in a good economy, people borrow money because they have opportunities. In a bad economy, people borrow money because they're solving challenges, right? So what we've seen a real increase in is people that are borrowing money to solve challenges. Hey, I need a little bit more liquidity in my business right now because I need to be able to handle the way that operational costs have changed, right? The way that the supply chain has been disrupted. So a lot of this stuff goes back to understanding, okay, what is the current climate, and then how can we position financing to help these businesses, right? There's a ton of different ways to do so. We're going to go into all of them, so I'm excited to be on with you guys and discuss these things. But more importantly than anything, it's important that you guys understand the current climate, right? So like I said, don't wait. Now is certainly the time to act, right? So what are we seeing? We're seeing lenders pausing lending or increasing requirements, or maybe even totally shutting off industries, right? Like, not every lender has to do everything, right? There's some that specialize in this, some that specialize in that, but they might be changing that based on their portfolio, right? So what does that mean? That means that if you have something available to you today, it might not be available to you next week, next month, or even a couple months from now. So take advantage of what you have, and really utilize what's out there for you. One thing I can say is we have more than 989 reviews on Trustpilot. I recently just saw that we passed 1050 on Trustpilot, so let's make a note to update that screenshot for the next webinar. But we have over 1,000 reviews, right? And the reason that we point out the reviews is because our longevity. We've been in this business for almost 20 years. I've worked with referral partners for the last 10 years in this industry, and we've seen pandemics, we've seen recessions, we've seen economy booming at times. What that means is, regardless of the scenario, we're going to be here to weather the storm with you, your customers, and really help them navigate commercial finance so that they can take advantage of what's available to them. Now, the beauty of today's day and age is technology has poured into the financial services industry. In fact, they even invented a new name for it. They call it the fintech industry, right? And because of that, we're seeing more and more lenders do more and more creative things, and that's allowing us to provide a better service back to you and your customers. So there are still options available. Businesses are still getting funded every single day, and we're doing so in real time as these changes are happening and as the economy changes, right? So it's important that you guys understand that. It's important that you guys really understand that you got to partner with somebody like ROK, because at the end of the day, experience is the best teacher, and the people with the most experience are going to be able to help you the most, right? I get it. If you're somebody new in this and you're just trying to get going, well, then partner with us. Get yourself some experience. Get yourself a team that has experience to back you up. Listen, I understand that there's a lot of partnerships available out there. But what I can tell you is we've been doing this the longest. We do it the best. We have the most to offer, and I'll go into the partnership here in a second. But the real message behind that is, you're only as good as the resources you have access to, especially as a business owner. So savvy business owners know this. They're looking for people with the reputation, with the reviews, with the real-time experience to help them navigate these, the landscape that's currently out there, right? Um, I told you I was going to dive into the partnership a little bit. Before I do so, I want you to understand that we are a full-service commercial financing broker, meaning we offer every type of financing that's available to small businesses today, from asset-based lending and commercial real estate lending to SBA loans, equipment financing, accounts receivable, revenue-based funding, term loans, lines of credit, you name it. We're offering all of those different products, and you can also offer any of these products as an extension of your own, right? By partnering with ROK. So it's important that you guys are working together with a reputable source. But even if you are offering one or some of these products, let's offer them all together, right? You can leverage every single one of these products simply by partnering with ROK. So it's a truly great partnership. Some quick perks for you guys, right? Talking to those that might not know these things. If you're a newer partner, or even if you've been around for a bit but just need a quick refresher, or if you're not a partner yet at all, right? It takes us less than 2 to 4 business hours to get decisions when it comes to receiving an approval. However, we always say give us 24 hours. And typically, we're able to fund a business in as little as 1 to 3 business days, right? So what does that mean? That means that a business owner does not need to wait for the capital. That means that a business owner does not need to think, how am I going to find out when I qualify? Why am I waiting for weeks? Am I going to have to provide more insight or this or that? No, it's minimal paperwork. It's quick and easy access to funding, where we really pride ourselves in them understanding their options, how those options work, from rates and terms and fees and all of those types of questions that they're going to have. And really what we do is we empower them to do what they do best, and that's make decisions for their business, right? We just want to make sure if they're going to make a financing decision, that it's a well-informed decision, right? Because if not, well, then they're not really dealing with the full scope of things, right? So we pride ourselves in providing that insight, providing those resources back to businesses, and ultimately that's a perk back to you guys, right? We offer a ton of different financing options. Why do we do that? Well, we do that because each business has a unique financing need. My favorite part about the job is every applicant is different. Every business owner is different, right? And now some might be the same applicant across a couple different businesses. They might be the same owner. I got you, right? The same business owner could own multiple businesses, but that doesn't mean anything other than they're going to need even more options. They're going to need to understand things even better, right? So why does ROK offer all of these different products? Because we want to be able to service the widest range of need out there, right? And the last part is, you can earn a sick residual income by partnering with ROK. So if you are able to take commission for referring business, there's a awesome opportunity for you to build a book of business here and continue to make money through working with ROK Financial. Oh, it's not letting me click now. There we go. Did that go too? Yeah, it did. See, look at that. I knew that happened. So couple quick things, right? It's very easy to work with ROK, but a couple things that I want you guys to know is we really only require what we call the 3 N's, and that's the name, number, and need, right? So you don't need to be this. You don't need to go get a broker's license. You don't need to have all this information. We do all of that for you. If you know somebody that needs funding within their small business, you can refer them over with as little as describing what that need is and providing their name and number, and we will handle the rest, right? Your customer We'll get paired with a financing advisor, go over all of the things that are available to them, and ultimately we'll get your client funded and get you paid. That's the beauty of our process. You can leverage it as much or as little as you'd like. Couple quick things, right? A couple of quick messages for you guys. We can work with a business as little as 3 to 6 months time in business. They do have to be generating at least $10,000 per month into a business checking account. If they meet that minimum criteria, we can certainly help them gain access to a wide variety of funding options. Some of our top industries are listed here for you guys: restaurants, transportation. See, look, transportation, top industry, and sees a ton of challenges in applying for funding. The reason behind that is because a lot of times if you're receiving a decline at your bank, it's ROK that's going to be able to help you out and get you funding. So even with all the changes that have happened in some of these industries, they still are top industries when working with ROK Financial. The construction industry, the healthcare and medical industry. I'll throw a few more at you guys: auto repair, retail, e-commerce, wholesale distribution, import, export. You know, I'm missing some, but like those are ones that are coming to mind here. Some of the top states that we fund in. I love the top states thing. However, we fund in all 50 states, right? So you see the states here, but some of the other ones that come to mind are really the best way that I can describe it to you is if you have a local, a city near you, right? And it doesn't have to be New York City, right? It doesn't have to be a gigantic city, but wherever you're seeing more businesses around is where you're seeing ROK Financial fund those businesses. It's really funny when you take our funded client map, right? A map of where all the businesses are of our funded clients, and you put that over the top of a map of the United States population map, it literally is exactly the same. The funny part about that is also if you took a map of our active referral partners and put it over the map of the population of a population map, you would see the exact same thing. Meaning that there is Starbucks in every city in America these days, right? And that means ROK Financial is funding small businesses right around there, whether that's an auto repair business, a doctor, a dentist, an accountant, a bookkeeper, and any other business in between, right? We fund businesses as little as $10,000 all the way up to $10 million. Funds are available in as little as 24 hours, and you're getting access to over 75 different lenders on the platform. So there really is a ton of value in partnering with ROK. These are just some of the top things that I want you to keep in mind. Couple quick success stories from some of the industries that you might have saw on that slide that are facing some challenges or may face challenges when it comes to the tariffs that are being discussed. Are these success stories here, right? 500,000, 600,000, $3 million, right? We see these businesses every single day. On a given month, we fund anywhere between 400 and 600 businesses. So you can figure out how many we're doing a day, right? We only operate on bank hours. So, the bank's got to be open for us to lend money. So you can figure out how many deals we're doing a day. But at the end of the day, what we do is we help businesses and we help those who help small businesses. So if you're working with business owners, you're somebody that helps them understand financially what's going on, or really just any way, shape, or form that you're assisting them and you feel like you should add financing to the repertoire, well, feel free to partner with us and be one of the next success stories on our next webinar. So definitely excited to explain that to you guys. This is my favorite slide, and the reason is because of what we talked about before, right? When I explained to you guys that it's really the reputation and the reviews that make us who we are. But even behind those reviews, it's actually the team, right? So we have a rock star team of over 250 people that are currently working to assist small business owners, right? And if you would like to join that team as a referral partner and be somebody that's working with ROK, feel free, but don't take my word for it. take theirs, right? Go do your own research. Jump on Google, jump on Trustpilot, get on Best Company, and do some research and find out who's out there. You know, my favorite thing to ask you guys to do is go take a look at Chase's reviews. Google Wells Fargo and see how many reviews they have and what their rating is. And then come compare them to us. Because at the end of the day, when you sell high cost capital, you probably shouldn't have a 5.0 rating like we do, right? But the reason that we do is because of how we do it. We're not afraid to explain to a business owner that dollars got to make sense. And if you are someone that is is looking for funding, we want to make sure that if you're going to borrow the money, that you can pay it back. And we explain that to borrowers. We take time to let them know what they've qualified for, how they've qualified for that, and what they can do to improve those things in the future, right? One thing I can tell you is if you got no relationship with a lender and you got no assets tied to a transaction, and you don't really make very much money, and you're not keeping very much money, you're a high risk borrower, right? When we see increased risk, we see increased rates, right? So they better be able to make a very high return on investment so that they can offset the cost of capital, right? And that's what we pride ourselves on doing. We pride ourselves on working together on understanding from you what the business owners, what the businesses that you're working with are looking for, and then how can we best pair them with the best financing options for them, and explain that back to you, back to them, and really get them the funding that they're looking for. So excited to work with you if we're not already working together. If you haven't joined and you're not yet working with ROK Financial, feel free to scan this QR code on the screen and get signed up now. You should be able to just press enter. Emily was letting you guys know if you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A. So please drop those in the Q&A, in the Q&A section of Zoom. But definitely, if you aren't partner with ROK, you want to become a partner now, feel free to scan this QR code on the screen here. Our team is waiting for you to do so, and they'll be reaching out to you here shortly. You get your own point of contact that is going to work with you and get you set up to be a partner. It takes no more than 5 minutes to do so. Once you're set up, you get landing pages, marketing materials, sales support, marketing support, integrated technology, proprietary technology, your customers' experience, your partnership experience. It's all worked out for you. So definitely excited for those that are looking to partner with us and aren't quite yet a partner. Definitely excited to work together and partner together. So excited to have you guys as a part of the platform. And if you're just looking for some more generalized information, feel free to head on over to our website. Feel free to jump on our website, send an email, reach out, call us. We love to chat, in case you couldn't recognize that yet by how much I've talked throughout this webinar. Definitely would love to chat business with you guys. The other thing that I would say is follow us on social media. You want to know exactly, the latest and greatest of what's going on. That's where we pivot the quickest, right? If there's something new or updates or anything that you guys need to know, feel free to jump on Instagram and follow ROK Financial Affiliates. Jump on LinkedIn and send me a connection request, and we can stay connected on LinkedIn. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Am I missing any? LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, right? If you want to laugh, follow us on TikTok. I thought last week's was pretty good. Might have came up with the idea of one or two of them, so feel free to provide some critiques. But no, definitely excited to be on with you guys, but also stay connected offline, right? Feel free to. Oh, I forgot. Twitter's called X now. I forgot, right? So feel free to interact with us there, where we, like I said, are also providing that quick those updates as quick as possible. Sometimes rolling them out on the website might take a day or two. Putting out a blog might take a little bit, right? But getting a quick social post out there happens very quickly. A lot of times they're dragging me into the studio to film a video like that. So definitely feel free to interact with us there, interact with us here, jump on the phone, send us an email. You want to send me an email. My email is tony@rock.biz. I know a lot of you guys get emails from Tony C@rock.biz. I don't see those. Those go to our marketing team. But if you have a question for me in particular, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm all about working together and partnering and helping our partners any way, shape, or form. So I appreciate you guys rocking out. Great getting a chance to chat with you guys. Love getting a chance to be on with our partners. Hopefully you guys pulled some information out of this. And until next time, everybody, thanks so much and keep rocking.